right, welcome back, everybody, to the Fantasy Hockey Hacks podcast, a proud member of the Hockey Podcast Network and the official podcast of Left Wing Lock, your number one source for fantasy hockey intelligence. I'm Devin Davidson, your host. With me, as always, Bruce Gunther, John Enns, and Tyler Homan. Bruce, I got a bone to pick with you.
Again?
You son of a bitch. You sniped Clayton Keller off the wire, and you wouldn't take him to trade. And then he wouldn't put 3 points up in the 2 games after I dropped him.
So that would be called pulling a Devin.
Oh, come on.
Devin, that sounds like a you problem.
It is a me problem. I had to drop somebody to make room for Quentin Hughes, and I tried to trade with Bruce, and he wouldn't do it. And I kind of knew he was going to pick him up as soon as I dropped him anyway. But all right, guys. So episode 48, NHL Week 19 waiver wire picks and preview. For our listeners, we're a day delayed. That's my fault. I was away for family day weekend, and these guys were kind enough to wait for me. So
sorry, but you said 48, and I was like, "What the heck, man?" I was like, "My show notes say episode 49," and I'm looking, and it's like, "Oh, February 27th.
Yeah.
That's not today." So.
that would be our new one. So don't use those, John.
Excuse me while I actually jump into the proper show notes here.
And just for our listeners' information, John is on a new mic tonight, and mostly for Tyler's listening pleasure, because we know how much he loves to listen to John speak.
Hey.
Boy, do I ever.
So, not a bad week overall for our Edmonton Oilers. We'll just exclude
Mike Smith.
Sunday. Yeah, Sunday doesn't count.
Sunday doesn't count. Yeah, we'll just exclude that game, and otherwise pretty good. Yeah. Unfortunately, I've got Mike Smith in one league, and he got
you moron.
Yep.
And I still couldn't beat Devin.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you did. You lost to me on that one. That was good.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. So hey, John, did you actually get a chance to run through John's list? Do we have anything for John's list this week?
I do. I just actually added it to the show notes. Tyler actually hit the nail on the head. I was talking to Bruce earlier about this.
Okay.
But
well, hang on a second. Before you jump into that, for anyone that hasn't listened to the show before, we do have some new listeners I'm aware of. So John's list is basically just John's shit list of players past and present. It's a fun way for us to start off the show, and typically John just fills it in right before the show starts, I think. So John, take it away, buddy.
Well, you're not wrong, but no, for this week, it's kind of been a trend lately where I've actually been kind of picking teams, it seems like. But the whole China men's Olympic hockey team, they are on the list this week because half the team isn't Chinese.
Really?
Like, I get the whole dual citizenship thing where you're playing in China, great. But I'm sorry, Jake Chelios, you're American.
I was not aware of that.
There's
so guys like
Chelios?
Jeremy Smith, Jason Fram, Ryan Sproul, like, I don't know how you can get away with that. I don't like it. Then the fact that team got absolutely ripped on in the Olympics just makes me happy. But
I didn't know that was happening. I'll be honest, I didn't watch much of the Olympics. I know you guys, but
yeah, I didn't watch any Olympic hockey this year. It was super disappointing too, because you always look forward to it. But just with the NHL not going, you're not getting your best hockey there, so you may as well just stick with watching NHL games.
Pretty much. Wow. Okay. I don't know. Do you guys have any argument against that, Tyler, Bruce?
No.
Pretty low event for John's segment this week. We can't
right?
Through. Yeah.
Well, see, my number 2 pick was Mike Smith, but I think you guys would have agreed with that one too. So it.
Well, we can talk about that quick. I mean.
Oh, the guy's trash. He has been for years, and I don't know why you guys like him.
Well, if I look at his,
he's all we got.
That's a hot take.
I don't know. I think he was okay before yesterday, wasn't he?
No.
It was the whole team didn't show up.
And to be fair to the team, that was their 5th game this past week.
I think they rode the bus all the way back from Winnipeg. They don't have an airport there, so I'm pretty sure they rode the bus the whole way back. Showed up right before the game.
Got shelled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't pretty.
Yeah.
His 3 games before that, John, he was above 900 at least. So he had a 938 and a 974 in 2 of those 3 games. He wasn't great against Anaheim, and then, he just got absolutely blasted by Minnesota.
Oh, both goalies did.
Yeah. All right. So maybe a new goaltender for next year for the Edmonton Oilers.
I'm hoping a new goaltender this year.
Maybe next week.
Maybe next week.
Wishful thinking.
Yeah, wishful thinking is kind of what I'm thinking with you. Okay, let's move on to the fantasy lock of the week, February 13th to the 20th, presented by Left Wing Lock. And you guys might not like it, but I'm going with Elias Lindholm, center, right wing, eligible, 96% rostered. 8 points, 4 goals, 2 game winners, 1 power play point, 11 shots on goal, plus 4, 56% power play share in 3 games played. He's got 15 points, 8 goals in his last 9 games. He's done pretty well, and I think today he scored another goal too. So he's on an 8-game goal streak at the moment, and Calgary's on a 10-game winning streak.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Yuck.
You don't have to like it, but objectively they're playing some good hockey.
But I don't like it.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. Don't like it.
Yeah. Honorable mentions go to Connor McDavid, 8 points, 3 goals, 5 assists, 1 game winner, 1 power play point, 22 shots on goal, plus 4, 73% power play share in 4 games played. And the other player I had here was Robert Thomas, 6 points, 2 goals, 4 assists, 1 game winner, 1 power play point, 11 shots on goal, plus 4, and 66.7% power play share in 3 games played.
And Sidney Crosby, because, just does.
And we'll give him a nod. John, I really wanted to add him in this week, but then I went and looked at his numbers. I think he had like 2 points all week.
Shut up.
So it was really tough to add him in there. But I mean, nod to Sidney Crosby for 500 goals. That's quite an accomplishment.
Oh, we're not there yet.
I
just wanted to say he deserved to be in the honorable mentions because you have slacked off on him the last month. So
okay, fair enough. My apologies to Sidney Crosby.
I'm going to keep bringing that up, by the way.
Fair enough. Okay, let's move on to headlines with the Hacks, news and injury updates for February 14th to the 20th. Our partner Left Wing Lock has a complete up-to-date list available on their website for all players placed in COVID protocol. I think there's actually only a couple in there now, so you might not even care about it, but worth mentioning anyway. And let's kick it off here on the 14th, the 3 stars of the week ending on February 13th. Jacob Markstrom with a 3-0-0 record, 1.33 goals against average, and a .959 save percentage. Tyler Patrick Laine, 6 points in 3 games played. Nico Hischier, 6 points in 4 games played. There's your 3 stars of the week there. The big news this week probably was Calgary acquiring Tyler Toffoli from the Canadiens. Tyler, what was your take on that trade?
I think it was a pretty good trade for Calgary, especially top 10 protecting it. Not that they're going to be in the top 10 for this year, but it's a good pickup because it spreads around your depth. He's been good in the playoffs, knows how to score goals, so yeah, I thought it was a good trade.
Okay, Bruce, what did you take on it?
Same thing. I think it's good for Calgary. They get Toffoli, who's a proven scorer. He's done this a couple of times already with LA, so he's been around. He knows what to do, and good for Montreal. They got some draft picks, and
yep,
they'll be good in a few years, hopefully.
I was actually surprised how they've used Toffoli, though, the first couple games. He's only played around 12 minutes. And no power play time, which was also surprising.
I think it's early, though. I think he's just kind of getting into it. I think Sutter's that kind of a coach where you're going to earn it, and he's kind of the new guy. So
yeah.
The other thing, too, is the contract. He's got a good contract. I think 2 years left at 4.25. So, and Calgary got ahead of all the madness at the trade deadline. So
yeah, it helps to get guys early, right? So they can kind of get acclimated to the dressing room and the team and the systems and all that kind of good stuff. John, any other thoughts on that trade?
No, just a little bit of disappointment there for his placement there. I've got him in a league, and It's just a little disappointing that he's not getting the minutes or the placement there in the power play. But like Tyler said, I'm sure that he'll get his opportunities as he gains confidence there. And I'm thinking it'll be good.
Yeah, they're scary good right now. I think Toffoli's gonna be a big part of that.
Yep.
Vegas Golden Knights GM Kelly McCrimmon announced on Monday that center Jack Eichel would make his season debut on Wednesday against Colorado Avalanche. I don't think he did much in his first game, though.
He sucked.
Pretty quiet there, and then progressively got a bit better. He's up to, is it 3 points in 3 games now for Eichel?
Something like that, 2 or 3.
Starting to get comfortable. I don't think anyone had any sort of delusions that he was going to come in and score a hat trick or anything like that, but...
Well, if he doesn't, he's trash, so...
Yeah, pretty quiet game from him to start, but he looked good otherwise. A bit of a fantasy spin. Chandler Stevenson ended up on that top line alongside Jack Eichel and Max Pacioretty.
Ooh.
So if Chandler Stevenson's still available in your league, I'd take a look at him. I kind of thought he was going to play third line center, and they've got him up on the top line. So something worth taking a look at. Matt Boldy scored 4 points and got his first career hat trick this week. Good stuff from him. I think he's up to 16 points in 16 games, and we're going to talk about him a little bit later. Stuart Skinner made 20 saves for his first career shutout as an Oiler. They beat San Jose 3-0. And Darnell Nurse scored his 50th career NHL goal. Mitch Marner collected his 400th point, 120 goals, 280 assists, and just 391 games played. He's been just so good lately, eh? Mitch Marner. Continues to be. The Montreal Canadiens announced on Tuesday that Carey Price would not have any on-ice practices for the week. So the saga continues for Carey Price. Frank Saravelli was mentioned as saying that Robin Leonard may have a torn labrum, may not be able to continue playing for the remainder of the season. And the Vegas Golden Knights were apparently interested in Marc-Andre Fleury.
Which has been shut down.
Which has been shut down since. But I thought it was interesting. If you're Marc-Andre Fleury, do you have any interest in going back to Vegas after how things were handled?
Fuck no.
Thank you. Fuck no is right. Exactly.
Oh, wouldn't it be nice to come back and he comes back into Vegas and literally lights the whole thing on fire? And let's say they win everything, and then Fleury says, "Later, I'm out of here."
No, because he's got his cups, and then he would just be like an accessory to giving them a Stanley Cup. And I mean, I would want no part of that.
No.
Yeah, I guess.
But that's my take. That's my take.
Yeah, but he's such a nice guy. He'd do it anyway. So.
And just smile ear to ear.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
But no, I don't like it either.
Trash, to quote John.
Absolutely.
Rasmus Ristolainen was placed on injured reserve. I think he's back practicing now. And then Sidney Crosby, like I said earlier, scored his 500th career NHL goal against Philadelphia. He became the 46th player in NHL history to score 500 goals. Chris Letang scored an OT to collect his 30th overtime point, passing Erik Carlson for the most by a defenseman in NHL history. What else do you say about Sidney Crosby? Pretty fantastic career so far.
I'm saying number 1 or number 2 player in the league. I would have confidence putting him at still number 1 player in the league.
Today.
Yeah, I'd go with that.
I really like Crosby.
Tyler's got this ugly smirk on his face.
He's not going to say it. He won't say it.
No, he won't say it.
Yeah.
That's
because
just
he knows
my
it's
face.
true.
That's just my face. I don't think so, but like the stuff that he does is so different at such a high level. Is so different from everybody else because he's like the greatest third line grinder who can also score goals in the history of the league. Every player that you'd put beside him just plays the game so different than he does, and he's the best at the way he plays the game. But he's not the best.
I think you could make an argument for Sidney Crosby, but if we're using total points as criteria, I mean, obviously he falls a bit short there right now, but I mean, I think anybody would take them on their team any day. He's great in the face-off dot. Could play defensive hockey. he scored a slapper or clapper last night, which is pretty funny. Like, you don't see that very often. Just ripped it right by whoever. I can't remember the team he was playing, but pretty cool stuff to see there.
Yeah. One note on that. So was it Chris Letang's Instagram post that Gino commented on it and said like, "Congrats on the assist, Gino," or something like that? Tagged himself in the comment.
Did you really?
I saw it somewhere. I was hoping it wasn't fake because I thought it was hilarious.
No, I didn't see that.
Well, I'm gonna look this up now, and I'm gonna figure this out.
Okay. We'll move on to Drew Dowdy here, who celebrated his 1,000th NHL game Tuesday night against the Edmonton Oilers. I thought it was pretty funny. He gave the Oilers a shout out and said, "Thanks for sticking through this. It sucks," whatever. It was pretty comical. Dowdy has 558 points, 129 goals in his career to date. Joe Pavelski reached the 20. Oh, did you find it, John?
I did find it. He, in fact, did comment on Letang's post and said, "Congrats on the assist," and then he tagged himself. Oh, man, what a beauty.
That's good. Those three guys like to have fun together.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It just makes it good for hockey, just seeing guys enjoying playing with each other for so long and so well. And I think it's just great.
It sounds like there's been some loose contract talks between the Penguins and Gino and Letang.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about it.
So we may or may not see him back for the Penguins next season.
I don't want to talk about it.
Okay. Joe Pavelski reached the 20-goal plateau for the 12th time in his career. He was pointless in 6 games leading up to Tuesday's game against the Avalanche, but he managed to score 4 points, 2 goals, and he's up to now 52 points, 21 goals through 47 games played. Anything bad to say about Joe Pavelski now, John?
Yeah, he's trash.
Jesus.
No, I'll give him props. He's playing really like a lot better than I expected. Kind of turning out to be a late bloomer because I don't know. I didn't like him for the last 15 years, and don't get me wrong, I don't like him now, but he's actually playing decent. So
Making his way off your list slowly.
No,
Sort of like Tyler.
He's trying. Tyler, not so much.
Tyler, not so much.
I'm not trying.
All right, Alex Ovechkin scored his 30th goal this season against the Nashville Predators. Ovi has reached 30 goals in a season for the 16th time. That's the second most in NHL history. Tyler Toffoli, speaking to him again, scored a goal in his first game with Calgary. Pretty nice goal for anyone that didn't see it. Patrice Bergeron did return for the Bruins this week. Josh Norris resumed skating for the Ottawa Senators on Wednesday morning. Matt Murray left Tuesday's game in the third period, but the Senators are hopeful he would play, and he did, I believe, over the weekend. Mark Scheifele recorded his second hat-trick of the season against the Minnesota Wild. The Jets took that game 6-3. Blake Wheeler also posted 4 assists in that game. Bruce, you really should have taken me up on that Blake Wheeler trade, man.
Yeah, but then I would have got Mike Smith.
That's a trade you don't do.
Granted, it would have been Binnington going his way, so that's who knows.
Man,
right?
you guys are just swapping trash.
I was trying to.
At least Smith is playing.
Yeah. That's making a trade to make a trade.
Well, I was trying to clear some room on my roster because I had 2 D-men coming off IR. So, and Bruce needs some help in goal because Binnington wasn't even playing.
So you offered him Mike Smith?
Yeah. But Smith is now my 4th goalie. He's my 4th goalie. So
at that point, you should just have 3 goalies.
I could maybe I'll ask the hacks later. See what you guys think.
Absolutely. They'll tell you what they think.
Okay, we'll get to that. Congrats to the Canadian women's hockey team on winning gold, defeating Team USA 3-2.
Beauties.
Very much so.
Sounds like Poulin might be getting some interest from ECHL teams. Did you guys hear anything about that?
Yeah, she declined it right away.
Did she?
Yeah. Like, she's really good, but I mean, playing against men is not like, it's not a sexist thing. It's just like, that's not even fair to her, really.
Just different.
Yeah. When you play like non-contact and then play full contact, especially in the East Coast League, that's a little different.
It's pretty much the jungle, right? You hear anyone talk. I mean, Biz talks about it all the time on Spit and Chicklets.
Yeah.
Right? It's nuts in the ECHL.
Yeah, and that's probably more of a publicity thing than anything, because whatever team said, yeah, we asked or whatever, somebody talks about them, but that it'll never happen. I think too, just talking about the USA and Canada, I know it'll never happen, but it's every single Olympic, it's Canada to USA. They should just play like a 7-game series against each other. Just get rid of all the other women's teams because they suck. just
take
play
from
a
Tyler.
series. Just play a 7-game series. It'd be wild.
It would get ugly fast, I think, actually.
Yeah, and there's something to be
it would.
said about like the one and done, like everything's on the line. But I mean, it's actually really good hockey, and watching Canada beat whatever other team 10-2
Yeah.
is not a lot of fun. So
Well, and I mean, you can say the same thing, too, for some of the men's teams that play, right? Like, it's when teams get shelled like that, it's not a lot of fun to watch. It's probably not a lot of fun to play. So, probably some teams that shouldn't be there either.
yeah.
So, do you scrap women's hockey, or do you just have like a separate tournament in between each Olympics?
The only way you do it is if you have a separate tournament, because I mean it's the Olympics, you have to have every country there. But
Yeah.
And I know they do kind of like their pre-tournament stuff. They had a game a couple years ago in Edmonton. It was actually really good hockey to watch live, but yeah, they'll never actually get rid of that at the Olympics. That's just my own selfish thoughts.
I didn't think we were going to dive into this because this was sort of a hot button topic all week. There was a lot of members of the media that were saying scrap women's hockey, and a lot of people got a little pissy about it. So
Well,
good for you
yeah.
for bringing it up, Tyler.
Yeah, well, this will be great, I'm sure. Sure.
Well, if you had to choose which was the better hockey during the Olympic tournament, the men's or the women's,
Women's.
you wouldn't
Easy.
have picked the men's.
Yeah, it's women's hockey. Easy
Women's
'cause-
hockey was much better.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was trash hockey, for steal John's line there.
Yeah.
For on the men's side, like it was boring. I'd rather watch the Spengler Cup. The atmosphere is awesome. The players are basically the same in a Spengler Cup.
Yeah.
Except the atmosphere is really good and the game's actually good. None of those games are actually good.
Yeah, they got to do something, though, about some of those, like just making the teams more competitive, right? It's just both on the men's and the women's side.
Well, it seems like that's just what China did. So,
Yeah.
but oops.
Okay. We will move on. Alexander Barkhoff scored a goal of the year, Canada against the Carolina Hurricanes on Wednesday night.
He's
I'm sure
pretty
you
good.
guys saw that one. That was okay. You got nothing bad to say about that one, John, I'm sure.
Nope.
He's got 13 points, 7 goals in his last 9 games. He's on pace for 98 points. Justin Schultz is day-to-day with an upper body injury. He was back at practice actually today. Josh Bailey day-to-day with an upper body injury. Leon Draisaitl scored 2 goals against the Ducks Thursday night to record his 12th multi-goal game of the season. Draisaitl's tied with McDavid for the league lead in points with 68 and leads the NHL in goals with 35 to date. At the time, the Oilers were third in the Pacific. Anything bad to say there, John, about our boy Draisaitl?
No, just the usual.
Okay. Lazy Leon. Lazy Leon.
Yep. Exactly.
The Canadians broke a 10-game losing streak with a 3-2 OT win against the St. Louis Blues. Cole Caufield scored the game-tying goal with 10 seconds left and then scored the OT winner. Bruce, I couldn't help but notice you picked up our friend Cole Caufield in Yahoo earlier today.
My team needs some help. Hopefully Cole can help it. Unfortunately, he can't play goal, which is where my team needs the immediate help. So, but oh well.
I think he has 5 goals in his last 6, so
He's looked
he
good.
put-
Something like that.
He put up 3 points tonight. So
Yeah. I actually
one
grabbed
of
him in one of our ESPN leagues. I can't remember which one.
one of last week's waiver wire pickups.
Well, unofficially, right? And then I added him again this week just because he's been real good. So good on you, Tyler, for mentioning him last week. And then he's on the list again this week too.
quit pumping this guy's tires. He's just man.
Yeah, for anyone who listens to this, Tyler when you pump his tires even a little bit, he just he floats out of the room. That's probably because he's so used to John trashing him all the time. But
Yeah, I need to get something in there somewhere.
Yeah,
So.
yeah.
Yeah, I'll let you have that one.
Thank you.
Jack Campbell made a season-high 45 saves in a 4-1 win over the Pittsburgh Penguins. He was credited with an assist as well on Morgan Riley's goal. Patrick Laine scored a hat-trick in a 7-4 win over the Blackhawks on Thursday night. The former Jet is playing like a man possessed, which Tyler would know. 16 points, 10 goals in his last 8 games played. Timo Meyer broke out of his 6-game slump, just 1 assist over that span of games. He's up to 50 points in 43 games played at the time of writing. Brock Besser was added to Frank Saravalli's trade list this week, which I thought was interesting given our conversation with Mike last week on Fact or Fiction and where he kind of thought Besser was going for the remainder of the year. So I don't know.
Frank must have been listening.
He must have been. We can hope. We can hope Frank's listening.
He wasn't listening.
He wasn't listening. No, that's fine.
No, that attitude.
John Carlson recorded his 5th consecutive 10-goal season on Thursday night against the Flyers. Pretty good. I tried to snag him from you, I think, John. Don't you have him in one of our leagues?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a trash trade. It was like Tyler sent it or something.
It wasn't that bad.
It was horrible.
I don't even remember what it was, actually, to be honest. But
Me and Devin send the same trades. That's why we never. That's why we don't even send each other trade offers.
Yeah,
We
because
don't
they all
even think
suck.
about it.
we both
We
just
just
get
skip
annoyed.
over.
Yeah, we send it back to each other. It's like, fuck.
Nope.
Delete. The Montreal Canadiens hired Vincent Lecavalier and Nick Bobrov as part of hockey operations. Some more PR stuff there.
Yeah, who saw that coming? Like,
Most people.
oh yeah,
I think.
Marty St. Louis better bring in LeCavalier.
Yeah.
Bring me.
They got to do something. I mean, it seems to be working. They've drawn some attention away from the team, and they're starting to play a bit better, I guess. Puljujärvi. Let's talk about Puljujärvi. Suffered a lower body injury Thursday. Going to be out 4 weeks.
Yikes.
Was it on the goal that he scored? Because I didn't really notice another play where he... Like, did you see anything, Tyler?
Yeah, they showed a replay. He was kind of going into the corner and he just got tied up and went down a little bit weird. Looked like he stretched something out there, so not good either way.
No, not great. Maybe we can go on LTIR. We can use that cap space and get a defenseman or a goalie.
Yeah, all one. What is it? 1.5.
Okay, well, I guess we use Cassian. We'll use Cassian's $3.5 million. We'll
Yeah,
grab somebody.
Yeah, 3.2. Yeah.
Yeah. Victor Rask was placed on waivers by the Minnesota Wild. Andrew Kopp, upper body, is day-to-day for the Jets. Cole Perfetti, upper body, day-to-day. The NHL shared a rendering of what the stadium will look like at the Stadium Series in Nashville. Looks like a pretty cool setup. I'm not sure if you guys saw that tweet or not.
Yeah, it looks pretty legit.
They put some extra effort into that one, I think. It's in the blog post, Tyler, if you want to just go over to the website, check it out.
Yeah, no, I'll check it out after the show.
Okay,
Pretty sure
that's,
you're the only person in the last week who hasn't been on the website.
Yeah, that's fantasyhockeyhacks.com, Tyler, just so you know.
Okay, I'm writing it down right now.
Shameless plug for our listeners. Gary Bettman upheld Brad Marchand's 6-game suspension. I don't think that's a surprise to anyone here.
Nope.
Like we said earlier, Jack Eichel recorded his first point of the season, an assist on Pacioretty's second period goal. Mason Marchment recorded a hat trick against the Minnesota Wild on Friday night. He's got 15 points and 9 goals in his last 7 games played. He's not on our waiver wire list this week, but worth taking a look at. I mean, all of his metrics are pretty out there, so not really sustainable, but probably worth a stream anyway. Kirill Kaprizov scored his 50th career NHL goal in his 100th game against the Florida Panthers on Friday night. In a rare double shutout, Jake Ottinger and Marc-Andre Fleury both recorded a shutout in a 1-0 shootout win for the Dallas Stars Friday night. Ottinger's now started 7 of the last 9 games for Dallas. Appears to be the guy in goal, and so we'll talk about him a bit later in the waiver wire ads. Tage Thompson recorded a hat trick for the Buffalo Sabres in a 5-3 loss to the Avalanche. Thompson's up to 37 points, 19 goals in 46 games. That puts him on pace for 63 points and 32 goals on the season. I saw Tyler's ears perk up, so like all these guys are just adding them on the yeah. I see y'all pull your phones out.
No, I was just gonna say that was almost like Duncan Keith's 36 saves the other night.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, funny enough, I noticed this earlier. I didn't change it, and so now I sound like an idiot. So, so that's okay. It happens. Vladimir Teresenko missed Saturday's game against the Maple Leafs with an undisclosed injury. He apparently, according to Left Wing Lock, is going to play tomorrow. So no worries there. The Toronto Maple Leafs, who lost to the Blues 6-3 on Saturday night, traded Nick Ritchie and a conditional second-round pick for Ilya Lyubushkin and Ryan Dzingel, who they then put on waivers and was claimed by the San Jose Sharks. It's going to be a tight race for the Calder this year. Trevor Zegras is now second in rookie scoring after 3 assists on Saturday. Lucas Raymond is still in first place, but I had to mention this. In his last 12 games, he's got 1 point. It's a goal, 5 on 5. The rest of his production, which is 6 points in 12 games, has come on the power play. So
What's wrong with that? That's good for fantasy.
That's not good. That's not 1 point, 5 on 5, pretty ugly. So anyone that's been sort of contemplating whether or not they should drop that guy, I'd be looking at some alternatives. I wonder if I would just make a move there, make a change. Elias Lindholm, 7-game goal streak, actually 8-game goal streak like we mentioned earlier. It's a career high for him. Cale Makar required the second fewest games by a defenseman in franchise history to record 50 points, dead in 45 games. Bruce, that'll make you happy.
Yeah, it's too bad I don't have him on any of my teams.
I'll trade him to you.
Will you? I got Binnington.
No, thank you. Elvis Merzlikins considered day-to-day with lower body injury sustained during Saturday's practice. Jonas Korpisalo was also out on Sunday, and so they had JF Berube playing for the Blue Jackets here recently. Clayton Keller reached the 20-goal mark for the second time in his career, a 3-1 win over the Dallas Stars. Eichel scored a goal, and Andrew Hammond posted a .938 save percentage and earned his first NHL win since April 9th, 2016.
The Hamburglar.
That was awesome.
The Hamburglar makes an appearance.
That was awesome.
So that's kind of a feel-good story. Good for him. I think I put the tweet in the show notes, but he made the list for top 5 or top 10 for the longest amount of time between wins.
Oh, wow.
So I'll try and find those numbers later. Now is probably a good time to tell our listeners that the Fantasy Hockey Hacks podcast is a proud partner of NHLshop.ca, the best source for all your officially licensed NHL apparel and merchandise. Follow the links in our show notes or on our website. Save up to 50% on select apparel now and get free shipping on orders over $99. Use promo code NHLFS99 at checkout. Terms and conditions apply. See store for details. Full disclosure, Fantasy Hockey Hacks may receive a small commission for your purchase, which helps us to continue providing original content and fuel Tyler's gambling habits, which, as discussed earlier, are not going well.
That's bad. It's all bad.
Okay. Anything else, guys, for headlines with the Hacks? Insert crickets now. And let's move on to Ask the Hacks.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions. And I want to have them answered immediately.
First up, Alex Killorn hit waivers. Should I drop Jason Robertson or Victor Arvidsson for him? Points, shots on goal, blocks only league. I'm going to say that's a no for Robertson for me. I would probably look at it for Arvidsson, or it's at least a discussion that's come up in the past, right?
Yeah. Arvidsson maybe, but there's no way I would drop Robertson for him.
Yeah, I agree with Bruce. John?
I'm going to agree with both of you there. Yeah, no, there's no way I'm dropping Robertson for that.
And Tyler's actually nodding in approval, which rarely happens on the show that all four of us agree on something, so great.
It's a lock.
Yep. Let's move on to the next question here. Is it worth dropping Braden Schenn for Brock Besser? I don't know that I would. Braden Schenn's been playing really well lately.
And yeah, I think that's just the problem. Like Schenn lately, you're right. He has been fantastic. Don't get me wrong, Besser's been good, and like you said before, we know what Mike said about him last week. But the way Shen's been playing, yeah, no, that's tough. Like, he's had 7 points in his last 6 games. 4 goals, so.
And Shen's finally healthy. He's been injured for a good chunk of the season, too.
Yeah.
He's actually on pace for almost 70 points, Braden Shen. The only thing, like, his shooting percentage is almost 25% right now.
Yikes.
So that's going to come down a bit, but... And then, of course, yeah, like you said, we all know what Mike had to say about Brock Besser last week. I don't know. For me, I don't know that I would. Especially if my league counts hits.
Yeah, because you know Shen likes to throw the body around, so.
Generally, yep.
I think it's a wash otherwise. Just the hits, to me, I think, are part of the puzzle, so.
Okay. Bruce?
I wouldn't do it. Not at this point.
And Tyler, you were given the lemon face there, so. Okay. Good enough. I have a trade that we'll go through in 3 days, and I was confident in it before, but I'm having second thoughts. The league counts goals, assists, power play goals, shorthanded goals, and shots on goal. I'm trading away Ivan Barbashev and Riley Smith for Gustav Nyquist and Ryan Strome. Do I make this trade? It's a no for me. I looked into the numbers here for this particular trade, and I did not like that for a couple of reasons, but no. Gustav Nyquist and Ryan Strome, no, I would not. Tyler? I got to throw you in the spot, buddy.
Unmute the mic. You can do it.
You almost said Ryan Smith, and if that's the trade, I'm doing it. Otherwise, I'm not.
I'm hitting
Otherwise,
the
I'm not.
button on that one.
I had Ryan O'Reilly in my mind for some reason, but anyway, I corrected myself. But yeah, Ryan Smith would be great too. Either way, I'm not trading for Gustav Nyquist and Ryan Strome. Yeah.
No,
okay.
probably not.
Tyler's shaking his head no.
I feel like I've said too many bad things about Ryan Strome to actually ever make a trade for him. So just based on that fact, I'm going to say no. But as you said, looking at the numbers, yeah, no.
Like
that's my simple response.
No.
Riley Smith is actually, he's got lots of room for some positive regression there. When I was looking, like his team's even strength shooting percentage with him on the ice, his individual shooting percentage, all that kind of stuff. There's some room for improvement. So, and he's locked in the top 6 there, right? With Carlson and oh my God, who else are you playing with right now?
Marchessault.
Thank you. Eluded my brain there for a minute. So yeah, no, I would not. Bruce, do you have any difference of opinion there on that trade?
No, I wouldn't trade for Strome or Nyquist either.
Okay. I was offered a trade of Jason Robertson and Timo Meyer for Alexander Barkhoff. I'm also thinking about picking up Matthew Boldy from Minnesota. So essentially it's Robertson and Meyer for Barkhoff and Boldy. I said yes.
Yeah, I think I would do that too.
I will also agree.
Yep.
If you can acquire Barkov and if Boldy's sitting there, absolutely.
Yeah, and part of that goes with what Mike had said about Meyer last week. He pretty much said just get him off your roster, trade him however you can. I think he scored 3 points like 2 days later, but I mean it happens. And then the last question here, I was offered Artemi Panarin and a 15th round pick for Cam Talbot and my 2nd round pick next year. Do I take it? And just a little bit of context, the player, or the manager in question here is sitting in first place. I think was at 12-4 in their league. So I just suggested, yeah, I would probably go for it this year. You're going to give up your 6th round or your 2nd round pick next year, which is a bit steep.
That's bold.
But at 12-4, and then you add Artemi Panarin because he had some other goalies too, so he didn't need Cam Talbot. Talbot was basically his 3rd or 4th goalie.
Yeah. Only issue I have with that one is the 2nd round pick the next year.
I struggle with that too, for sure.
You make that into like a third or fourth, I'm more inclined to do it, but second's a big pick. And that could cause you issues next year, but if you're going to go for it, I guess go for it.
What's that, Bruce?
Is this a redraft league?
It's a redraft. Yeah, it's not a keeper, so you're like...
Yeah, I'd probably still do it.
Yeah, I think if your team's 12-4 right now at this point in the season, and you can add Panarin, and all you're losing is Talbot.
But yeah, if you're going for it, go for it.
Right? And I mean, yeah, okay, next year you're going to lose. You're not going to have your second round pick, but work the wire, make some trades.
Well, even the 15th round pick, right? So there's going to be somebody next year that's going to come up and do something like some of these young guys have been doing this year, or someone's going to have a career season that's going to be a late rounder available too. So you might have to work a little harder in your drafting next year, but if you're all in for this season, go for it.
Yeah, you really just need to steal one guy in third, fourth, or fifth round next year, kind of make up for it.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's possible.
There's busts that happen all the time in the second round, right?
Yep.
Guys that took Connor Hellebuck this year aren't thrilled.
Or Robin Leonard.
Which defenseman was ranked, what was it, like 15th again from Vegas?
Martinez. He's still on IR.
Yeah.
How was he possibly that high? It didn't make any sense, but...
Yeah, I know. Somebody took him early in the second round, so...
Thanks to ESPN.
Maybe. Yeah.
All right, guys.
Lauren.
That is Ask the Hacks for this week. Tyler, if you need a drink, man, now's your time. You know the drill. Let's move on to our DraftKings ad read here.
John's going to Best Buy.
John's going to Best Buy. Yeah, someone's going to Best Buy.
Why am I going to Best Buy?
I think it's Bruce, actually.
I'm going to
Bruce
Best Buy.
Going to Best Buy.
Yeah.
Back in 45. See you later.
Okay, I'm going to do the ad read. As a member of the Hockey Podcast Network, the Fantasy Hockey Hacks podcast is a proud partner of DraftKings. Hoops fans, the latest offer from DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA, is too good to pass up. I'm talking between the legs, 360 windmill good. New customers can bet just $1 on any team and get $150 in free bets if they win. It's that simple. If Sportsbook isn't available in your state yet, you can still take your shot at a big payday. Everyone can play for huge cash prizes with DraftKings daily fantasy basketball contests. DraftKings is giving all new customers a free shot at millions of dollars in total prizes with their first deposit. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use promo code THPN. Bet just $1 on any NBA team and get $150 in free bets if they win. That's promo code THPN at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. 21 plus, minimum age and location requirements vary by jurisdiction. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for a full list of requirements and state-specific responsible gaming resources. Void where prohibited, minimum $5 deposit. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. In Tennessee, call or text the TN Red Line, 1-800-889-9789. In Connecticut, call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-New York or text HOPE-NY 467-369. And somebody please get me an oxygen tank. Okay.
Wow.
DraftKings, we love you and we appreciate you. I'm going to move on.
Yes.
I was trying to throw you off there, but you didn't see me.
I was really just trying to. I saw you in the corner of my eye, and I was at all costs. I was ignoring you.
It was funny.
Bruce seen me.
Okay, let's move on to our next segment here, Edge Work, the segment where we do the work to give you the edge in your fantasy hockey leagues. Starting with the NHL schedule for Week 19. There's a total of 48 games on the schedule for next week, similar to the previous week. The light days with less than 50% of the teams playing, are not particularly light, with a minimum of 5 games played each day throughout the week. Columbus, Seattle, and Winnipeg play all 4 of their games next week on light days. Colorado, New York, the Islanders, San Jose, and Toronto play 3 of their 4 games on light days as well, so look to those teams for a schedule advantage. Monday, 5 games, Tuesday, 6, Wednesday, 5, Thursday, 8, Friday, 6, Saturday, 10, and Sunday, 8. And we'll start with teams of 4 games. The Toronto Maple Leafs is one team we're recommending you look at this week with a strength of schedule of +2. Tyler, not sure if you recall, Is that good or bad? According to Left Wing Lock,
That's gonna be tough.
it's gonna be like neutral. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Maple Leafs have 3 winnable games actually on the schedule for next week. They play Montreal, who's 1-8-1 in their last 10, Columbus, who's 6-4 in their last 10, and Detroit, who's 5-5. The real challenge for them is going to be against Minnesota on Thursday, who the Leafs lost to in a shootout on December 4th.
Montreal might be a real issue too.
And they might now be, yeah.
I was going to say, spoiler alert.
They may actually be, yeah.
Montreal annihilated them tonight.
Yeah, so ignore that one.
Who saw that coming, though? Who saw that coming?
No one.
I mean,
No one.
Not the Toronto fans, that's for sure.
No, so that's my apologies, guys. But yeah, 5-2 was the score in that game.
Yes.
Yeah. Actually, I think it was 5-0 at one point, wasn't it?
it was.
Yes,
Yeah.
it was.
Yeah.
And they scored 2 quick ones, like back-to-back shifts. I thought they might actually come back, and then they did nothing after that. So
Okay, there you go.
But I will say that Toronto had more shots than them. By quite a bit.
yeah, they did.
But Peter Mrazek sucks, apparently, so.
Yeah, he
They're
didn't have
still
a good
scared from the playoffs last year.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yep.
It wasn't good. Good thing I picked him up for tonight too.
oh no.
You know, I did too.
Lost a couple points there.
Oh,
It
geez.
was ugly.
I think I had him on the waiver wire list too, like just someone to look at. But he seems to leave you disappointed quite often, eh, Tyler?
He certainly does.
All right. I mean, Toronto tonight aside, they've been playing really well, scoring 4.4 goals for per game in the league over the last 10 games, and number 1 ranked power play at 40.7%. So that's not too bad. Some players to look at for Toronto, though: Ilya Mikheyev, Michael Bunting, Andre Kasha, Alexander Kerfoot, TJ Brody, Jake Muzzin, and maybe Peter Mrazek. I probably wouldn't, but before tonight he was on the list.
Jake Muzzin too. I don't know if he's going to be out for a bit after smacking his head off the ice tonight.
Yeah, I did see that here just as we were jumping on.
I missed that.
Yeah, so did I.
Didn't look very good.
No, so maybe don't grab him right away. Let's move on to teams with 3 games, and we're going to focus on the St. Louis Blues, who have a strength of schedule of -28, and they may just have the best schedule of any team this week with 3 games against struggling teams. Although sometimes it doesn't matter. Just ask Toronto. Philadelphia 2-7-2 in their last 10. Buffalo 4-5-1, and Chicago, who's 3-6-1. The Blues have not faced the Flyers or Sabres this season, but they are 2-0-1 against the Blackhawks in that season series so far this year. St. Louis is 6th in the NHL in goals for per game at 3.44, and to date this season they have the second best power play at 27.1%. Some players to consider there: Brandon Saad, Robert Thomas, Ivan Barbashev, and Justin Falk. Where's Robert Thomas at in terms of point totals?
Lots of assists.
Lots of assists. John, you probably hate him. It's not balanced at all.
Actually, no, I don't mind him. But yeah, you're right. He does need to put the puck in the net more. But yeah, he's got 7 goals, 32 assists, 39 points in 42 games.
Not bad.
Not bad.
And Justin Falk, actually, at 69% owned, Tyler, is
Nice.
is playing pretty well this year.
I hate him. Absolutely. If I had my own list, he'd be on the top of it.
He's on
Good
Tyler's
old-
list.
Good old screw you,
stand
Devin.
Can't stand him.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I think a lot of people aren't a fan after hearing his comments about coming to Canada to play here and whatever. He's just kind of,
Stupid.
Yeah.
Stupid.
he can just stay in St.
down
Louis.
there.
That's fine. And then teams with 2 games, we're going to look at the Ottawa Senators. Strength of schedule is -16 according to Left Wing Lock. They take on Minnesota before facing off against the lowly Habs. Maybe not so lowly anymore, but the Wild are 7-3-0 in their last 10 games, so that's going to be a problem for the Senators. They actually lost to Minnesota 5-4 in overtime on November 2nd, so that game might be a little bit closer than we expect. The Senators and Habs have not faced each other this year, but they do play 4 times between February 26th and April 23rd. Should be an interesting matchup if Montreal keeps playing the way they are. some players to consider: Alex Formenton, Nick Paul, Connor Brown, Tim Stützle, Tyler Ennis, Matt Murray, and Anton Forsberg. Bruce, I think you just dropped Connor Brown, didn't you, for Caufield?
Yep.
He's been playing pretty well, though, otherwise, hadn't he, Connor Brown?
Yeah, it's been fairly good. His last 3 or 4 games, it's been a little up and down, but before that, he was doing well, yes, because he's just back from injury, too.
Yeah. But you couldn't pass up on Cole Caufield.
No, we're gonna take a chance that Cole's back.
Cue the comeback.
Exactly.
All right, guys, let's move on to NHL Week 19 waiver wire targets. Each week we look at waiver wire targets that are 50% rostered or less. Some of these actually shot up quite a bit, even just from Saturday and Sunday. Matt Boldy, Cole Caufield, some of these guys, they're up probably 6 or 7% from the time of writing. So starting with Matt Boldy, 35% roster. He's got 3 games on the schedule this week. Playing on that third line with Gaudreau and Fiala and power play 1. As Oilers fans, we know just all too well how well Matt Boldy's playing and Kevin Fiala.
Let him up for 2.
Yeah, not great for us Oilers fans, but he's off to a good start. 16 points, 8 goals in 16 games. He'd actually cooled off a little bit. He had 4 points. In that one game where he had his hat trick. But those 4 points were all he had in 6 games. And
yeah, he didn't get anything for the next couple games, and then he got 2 points again last night. So
yeah, overall though, I think his point totals are too good to pass up on, and surprising is only 35% rostered.
Yeah.
Okay, so give him a look. The only thing there to note with Boldy is his individual shooting percentage at 17.5%, and his team's even strength shooting percentage with him on the ice is at 12.6%. If you haven't listened to the show before, league average is about 8.5%. So he's inflated on both metrics there. Some red flags to just keep in mind. Bruce, since you just picked him up, you want to talk about Cole Caufield?
Sure. So, excuse me. Pierce coaching change and Tyler Toffoli being traded was all that Montreal rookie needed to get back on track. With St. Louis, I almost said St. Louis. That'd have been nice. The Blues are behind the bench in Montreal. Caufield has 4 goals in 4 games and has seen an expanded role, 5-on-5. So just over 21 minutes on ice in the last game. And just 5.5 minutes on the power play. 60% power play share. Playing alongside Suzuki and Anderson. Ooh. On the top line, first power play unit. He's definitely worth considering in fantasy formats. Like Devin said, I just picked him up. 9 points, 5 goals in his last 9 games.
We like Caufield. Go grab him.
We do.
But we like him now. We didn't like him 10 games ago.
He's getting
next
his
up,
confidence back.
What's that, Bruce?
He's getting his confidence back.
He is. Yeah. I don't think
that's good for...
I think all the
good
pressure's...
for Caufield and bad for everybody else.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think all the pressure's off there too.
It's garbage time now.
Yeah, I mean, it's been garbage time since like November for them, but still. Now it's really settled in.
Yeah, it's really...
yeah. Speaking of garbage time, let's talk about the Philadelphia Flyers. Sorry, Mike.
Who wants Carter Hart? Who wants him?
Who's taking
I
him?
already have him.
Nobody.
It was looking good for a little bit there, but
I'll trade you for Binnington.
Oh, boy.
I'll do it.
You know it's bad when Binnington gets thrown into the mix and it's like, wait a minute.
I'm thinking about it.
Yeah.
Carter Hart for Binnington.
Thinking about it.
I'm worried for Carter Hart's career.
Send him to Edmonton. That'll fix it.
Yeah, fix him right up.
Fix him right
We're
up.
so good with goalies here.
In one league, I have both of them. So
You have the worst taste in goalies, apparently.
apparently this year I do.
There is no saving that roster. I don't care what forwards you have.
Tell us
I
how you really
definitely
feel,
have
John.
to use. I have to use.
No, I'm not saying it.
Okay. Scott Lawton, 10% rostered, 3 games this week, playing with Konechny and Van Riemsdyk and on power play 2. Over his last 7 games, he's got 8 points, 4 goals, playing over 18 minutes a game. That line's actually been pretty effective. They have a 77.78 goals for percentage, 60.15 expected goals for, and a 56.76 scoring chance for percentage. He's getting some time on the power play as well. He's got 30% power play share at this point. Prior to that, he saw very little time on the power play. Bit of a tough schedule, so strategically it might just be best to grab him for Monday, Tuesday, or I guess, well, you would have missed the boat if you're listening to this tomorrow, but it would have been great to pick him up Monday, Tuesday, and look at streaming some other fours for the remainder of the week. Robert Thomas. So, John, we're just talking about Robert Thomas. Why don't you give us a breakdown on him?
Boom. Robert Thomas, roster 28% in Yahoo. He's got 3 games versus Philly, Buffalo, and Chicago. Playing on that third line with Teresenko and Buchnevich and getting some power play one time. Thomas has been playing great. With him and Kyrou, Barbashev, Buchnevich, they've been fantastic for the Blues. Taking over on the offense from the older players like Ryan O'Reilly and David Perron, who's been quite disappointing.
Agreed.
But Thomas has 9 points in his last 10 games and some good underlying metrics as well.
Give him a look. Tyler, I'm pretty sure you're a fan of this guy, so I'm going to let you give the breakdown on this guy.
Oh, my God.
Jeff Skinner. Let's hear it, buddy. Take it away.
Couldn't have been a worst one. Oh, Jeff Skinner, the figure skater. Playing on the first line in Buffalo. They suck. Tage Thompson's playing with him. He's okay. He's been scoring goals, and that's good because that's what he's supposed to do for $9.5 million a year.
Yep.
On pace for 62 points, 35 goals. Worth an ad if your team really sucks. And beyond that, I wouldn't look at him.
Thanks for going completely off script on that one.
No, that was great. You pretty much nailed it, actually.
He gave you a beautiful script there to read out, and you just went, screw you, Devin. And
I wanted it to be more. I wasn't prepared for this, first of all.
I did throw him on the spot there.
No kidding.
I wanted it to be natural, I just, from the heart.
No, that was good. I actually quite enjoyed that. Thanks, Tyler.
No problem.
I do like that first line, though, in Buffalo between Tuck and Thompson and Skinner. They've all been playing really well together.
Yeah, that surprised me. Alex Tuck's just fit in perfectly there. And it's really helping out the rest of that line.
Yeah, they actually look competent somehow. So, good stuff there. Who wants Yegor Sharangovich? I'll take him. Yeah, who?
I'm just kidding.
So, yeah, he's got center, left wing, and right wing eligibility for the New Jersey Devils. He's only 6% rostered. They've only got 2 games this week, so that's a bit of an issue. But he's playing with Hughes and Dawson Mercer, and he's getting some time on power play too. But he's been smoking hot of late. 8 points and 2 goals over his last 6 games. He's been playing either with Jack Hughes and either Jesper Bratt or Dawson Mercer, like I said. 22 of his 24 points this season have come at even strength or 5-on-5. So not much power play time if you're looking for power play points, but it's nice when guys score 5-on-5. That's kind of key. Give him a look. I wanted to talk about this guy, but who wants Boone Jenner?
Should have given that one to Tyler. Excuse me while I change this.
Bruce, take it away. Boone Jenner.
Okay. Hey, Boone Jenner is currently rostered at 51% on Yahoo. Four games next week against Toronto, Florida, Carolina, and Pittsburgh. Currently on the first line with Laine and Bjorkstrand. Last 13 games, Jenner is 10 points, 4 goals at 5-on-5, 14 points, 6 goals, 3 power play points, placing him in the top 12 in the NHL in 5-on-5 scoring. Why don't I have this guy on my team?
You should.
Because
that's why we're talking about him right now.
Hey, I got Thompson and Skinner on my team right now, so it's bad, like Tyler said. The Blue Jackets captain has matched the production of some of the elite players over that span, including McDavid, Draisaitl, Kaprizov, and Philip Forsberg. It's a tough schedule for Jenner and the Blue Jackets next week, but given his development and deployment, it looks the same. Still be looking to roll him out for 4 games next week.
He's been underrated.
He's been good
this season. Yeah. Yeah, I kind of stumbled onto that one. His 5-on-5 scoring. I didn't realize he was doing that well, but over the past month, he's been very, very good.
That is crazy to be
5-on-5. He's been crushing.
5-on-5. Yeah.
Just 51% owned, so definitely give him a look. John, why don't you tell us about Robbie Fabry?
I would love to tell you about Robbie Fabry. Similar to Mr. Jenner, Fabry's been productive 5-on-5 over the last month or so, posting 8 points, 3 goals in 13 games played. Oh man, I'm losing my mind here. Just 2 games on the schedule next week. Tough matchups against Colorado and Toronto. However, Fabry is locked into the top 6 and is playing on the top power play unit. Maybe worth stashing beyond next week as well if you have the space on your roster.
My only concern with Robbie Fabry is when Verona comes back, is he going to get bumped a little bit? I'm not sure. Might lose some power play time. Otherwise, looks pretty good so far.
Yes, that is a little bit of a worry.
Tyler, let's talk about Adrian Kempe.
I feel like this is like going around the classroom and you have to stand up and say your name and who your parents are or something. Adrian Kempe, left wing, right wing, 39% rostered. 3 games next week. Strength of schedule is really good, according to the left wing lock. Playing with Kopitar and I follow power play 1. On pace for 40 goals, which is shocking.
Pretty good.
23 goals so far this year. Really just based on the schedule next week, definitely worth looking at him and playing with Kopitar.
Yep.
That's all I got.
Okay.
I'm not actually
Anybody
reading
who
your stuff,
plays with Kopitar does good. So
Should do just fine.
Yeah.
And we're running around. We're going around the classroom here, Tyler, just so I can talk a little bit less because I've been told I talk too much. So
yeah, Devin needs to shut up, and we need some input from you, Mr. Tyler.
No, you don't.
We want some hot takes.
we do. I like those hot takes. Those are good. Kyler Yamamoto. Let's talk about that guy for a little bit. 7% rostered, 3 games. They're doing the Murderers Row tour here, but now it's no longer in California and it's out in Florida and Carolina because they've got Tampa Bay, Florida, and the Hurricanes. He's been playing on that line with McDavid and Hyman with Puljujarvi out, and he remembered how to start shooting the puck again. I think he's got 10 shots in his last 3 games. I don't know if we'll ever see a stretch like that from him again, but he's been putting up some points here. So 3 points, 2 goals in his last 3 games. That line was quite effective at a 65.79 Corsi for percentage, 66% goals for percentage, 68 scoring chance for, and a 72 high danger scoring chance for percentage. So some pretty good stuff from Hyman, McDavid, and Yamamoto.
I'd be a lot higher on Yamo if they didn't have the schedule that they have next week.
Yep. That's fair.
He can still score against those teams. It's when he's actually taking shots and he's not looking. If you watch him play, if he's playing with Draisaitl or McDavid, as soon as he touches the puck, even on the breakout, he's looking to give it to McDavid or Draisaitl. As soon as they break across the line, he's looking to button hook and give it to one of them instead of actually like driving to the net.
Yeah.
And trying to do something on his own. And he turns over the puck a ton doing that. So it's good that he's shooting it now.
I'm pretty sure you're the first person other than Jack Michaels to say button hook.
Oh, good.
Because he says that like 6,000 times a game.
Our friend Jack.
Love him.
That's the
He's
old,
fantastic.
It's the old Johnny Gaudreau. You just drive wide, stop, and screw everything up.
That was a but that was a patented Jordan Eberle move too.
It was
The
yeah.
button hook at the blue line.
Yep.
But that's
He still does it.
when you don't have the speed to drive wide and go to the net, and you're not big enough to throw guys off you. You button hook at the blue line and look for a pass.
But you have to actually try and drive wide to get it behind the goal line to try and do something.
That's
you got to
fair,
try.
Tom.
We're just
try.
good.
Give it a shot first and see how it goes. Yeah.
Yeah, quit button hooking.
Okay. Bruce, I'm gonna let you take this next one because you're a fan of this guy. You just love Rasmus Anderson, so go for it.
Yeah, so Rasmus Anderson, he's currently rostered about 48% in Yahoo versus Winnipeg, Vancouver, and Minnesota this week. I believe they beat Winnipeg tonight, if memory serves. 48 games this season, Anderson has a new career high in points with 27. On pace for 45. Quarterbacks the power play currently and plays on the top pairing with Noah Hannafin. Provides exposure to elite level fantasy assets Lindholm, Gaudreau, Kachuk. We could also see more from Anderson in terms of goal scoring. His ish is 2.2%. I don't see the legend, so I'm just using the
Did you say his ish?
His ish, yeah.
Ish. That's what it says. ISH. Ish.
You know,
His individual shooting percentage.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Is
Bruce.
well below his shooting percentage last year of 5.2 and still below his 3-year average of 3.8%. Not to mention that the Flames blue line is shooting at its career best at 1.9 shots on goal per general manager.
You know, Natural Stat Trick has this wonderful page, and I'm only saying this because I just figured it out like 10 minutes ago.
Don't
That's
leave
a
him
shots
alone.
per
Bruce
game.
doesn't need it. Let him go.
Let him go.
7 points and 1 goal in his last 8 games played.
Next Instagram post, Devin better have hashtag ish on it, or I'm gonna riot.
I think that hashtag's getting added to the episode when we release it. Yeah. Bruce, thank you very much. I'm sorry, I totally dropped on the legend thing again.
Can we add it to the t-shirts?
Ish.
Or,
Hashtag ish.
It's on the back. It's
or
on the
can
back.
we just get t-shirts that have like
Just Bruce's name or Bruce's face in black and white, hashtag ish underneath. That's it. Nothing else on it.
Well, I was gonna say we're gonna have to put it like on the shirts, but have like the whole legend on the shirts so that when we do these, then Bruce can see our shirts and see like, oh yeah, that's what it is.
That's a good idea.
But yeah, I don't want Bruce staring at me the whole time we're doing this. So
Well, for our listeners, please, if you think that's a good idea, let us know. We'll try and get up some Bruce-ish shirts. Okay. Josh Morrissey, 48% rostered. 4 games next week. Calgary, Dallas, Colorado.
Can I take this one?
Oh yeah, you go for it, bud. You go for
you
it.
threw me off. I thought you were throwing that to me, so I was gonna start looking this stuff up. But
No, go for it.
if Tyler's gonna put the effort into it, absolutely.
Yeah, no, here's the effort. So, Josh Morrissey, Winnipeg, playing on the first pairing. He's the guy that leaves you wanting more. But he has 4 games next week. And if your league counts shifts, he gets lots of them.
God damn it.
So,
He hit the nail on the head with this one because I was just thinking, I was like, man, I've had this guy on my fantasy hockey team all year, and it's like been a battle. Like, do I drop him? And it's like, no, he's playing well, and then he sucks, and then he's playing well, and it's like, man,
He did.
Even if you're a fan of the Jets, he's like somebody. He was Nurse like 2 years ago, where you just like wanted that much more. You knew it was there, but it just didn't happen. That's Morrissey.
yeah, like I'm not even a fan of the Jets, and like I'm actually like a Morrissey fan, and for fantasy hockey, he just drives me nuts.
Got to count those shifts, though.
Gotta get those shifts. buddy.
Absolutely.
Gotta get the shifts.
All right. Well played. You nailed it. John, since you said you're looking for the last one, we might as well go to you for Noah Dobson, our last defenseman here.
I knew you were gonna say that. So, roster 32% Yahoo. He's got 4 games: Seattle, San Jose, LA Kings, and Anaheim. Playing on that number 1 pairing with Big Man Chara and getting some PP1 time. He's been really great this season. He's on pace for a career high 43 points, 15 goals over 82 games. And like I said, he's got that PP1 role and averaging over 21 minutes a game. He's been fantastic, 70% power play share in his last 10 games. So 2.8 shots on goal game too. So he's getting the shifts and he's getting the shots.
I took Morrissey just because I seen Dobson was coming up, and I was gonna have to throw that to Bruce. So
Don't worry.
Attaboy.
I'd have taken one for the team for you.
We still talk
I
about
did
that
pick up
sometimes,
Dobson
Tyler.
this week,
Just
so.
the deer in the headlights look on your face that day was like, oh my God.
It was awesome.
We should have had that one put onto a T-shirt.
yeah, I don't think I've ever been so scared in my whole life. That was a big one.
So that's another T-shirt. Well, yeah, we'll just Bruce ? Question mark. Yeah, Tyler's face.
Except for that time when we invited you onto the show for the first time and you put us off for like 8 weeks.
He did
Yeah,
do
I
that.
think it was 8 months actually. But
8
yeah.
months. Yeah. Well, yeah, because
8
Yeah,
months.
that's
We haven't
probably
even been doing
accurate.
this for 8 months, but it sure felt like it.
well, we're coming up on a year here.
Yeah.
FYI,
Yeah, this is April, wasn't
Oh
it?
yeah,
No,
that's right. I
not
missed the
me.
first like 3 episodes.
we're on episode
not
48,
me.
so another month here. We're coming up to a year. Okay, let's get back on track. Let's talk about goaltenders. Jake Ottinger. So this is one of those guys I was talking about where the ownership, the percentage rostered has gone up significantly. I think he was below 50% earlier in the week. He was 45%, something like that. Now he's up to 65%. He's basically taken over the net in Dallas. He started 8 of the last 10 games for the Stars. And in those last 10 games, he is 6-3-0 with 1 shutout, a 2.56 goals against average, a .919 save percentage, and a 1.85 goals saved above average. I'd say expect at least 2 starts from him this week. An absolute must-add for the remainder of the season.
I concur.
Definitely.
I mean, not earth-shattering, not groundbreaking news, but just for anyone that's not paying attention, yeah, he's pretty much taken over the job in Dallas. And that pretty much works as a nice segue into our next goaltender, Jeremy Swayman. Tyler, you got any bits of knowledge for us on Jeremy Swayman?
Not really though, but he is. He's kind of taken over there too, which is a little bit surprising just based on the contract status for the other guy there. So, good strength of schedule this week. He played today.
Yep.
Did he not?
5-1 win over Colorado.
Yeah, he was
And
money.
he wasn't even really tested. But super good numbers, and I think he's probably gonna. That net share is probably gonna go up from where it is at 42% right now.
Yeah, well, he's started 4 or 5 now for Boston.
Yeah.
Which, like you said, totally surprising to see. But yeah, good numbers, good peripherals there. So keep a close eye on that. But it'd be nice. I mean, I picked him up in 1 or 2 leagues, and I'd love to see him just take over the crease.
Yeah,
I think I was early on it because I had him about a month ago when I thought that he was going to take it over then, and then never really happened. So probably missed out on it.
I traded him for Freddie Anderson.
Who the hell did you convince to do that?
This is that trade we talked about last week, and that trade didn't get vetoed. It didn't get vetoed.
Oh God, I forgot about it.
It did process, yeah. So I ended up.
That would never happen in Timo.
But you know
Timo
what?
Salami.
If you look at it now, that trade looks a lot more level, a lot more even. If Swayman's taken over the net in Boston.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah. But it would have been vetoed in Timo before it even got to this point. So.
Oh yeah, no, it's but 2 seconds. Then I probably would have even called you.
What the are you doing? Yeah, that would have been one of those conversations.
I can't be in the Timo Salami League because the GM's a knob. So,
Oh, here we go.
dude actually makes you pay to play.
That's right. That's right. Except for Lauren, he still hasn't paid yet, but that's okay. I don't think he set his roster once. I didn't set my roster all week playing Lauren, and I think I beat him by like 200 points. And I did it on purpose. And I think he has like Malkin still on the IR
Oh,
on his
jeez.
team.
Well, I saw him this weekend. I forgot to mention it to him.
Holy. He's alive?
He's alive, yeah. He's actually
good.
really, really busy with Legacy. That's it's going real well for him. So,
Good.
Nice.
No, I've seen that. That is good.
That's good.
yeah.
Tell him
Yep.
to set his rosters.
So shameless plug, everybody. Check out legacydiy.com. Anyway, that's it for Waiver Picks this week, guys. I guess there's a couple other goaltenders here just of note. Mrazek was one of them. Yeah, maybe not so much anymore. Pavel Francouz, Philip Grubauer, Matt Murray, Craig Anderson, and Thomas Greiss. Thomas Greiss has actually been stealing some starts from Ned over in Detroit. Might be a good option there. He's only, well, at the time of writing was 5% rostered, so maybe give him a look as a stream. And other than that, that's it for this week, guys. So thanks for listening. Guys, thanks for joining me. If you have any questions, send them to us on Twitter at FHHacks, on Instagram at Fantasy Hockey Hacks. Send us an email, fantasyhockeyhacks@gmail.com. Get entered. If you have a question, get entered into our Left Wing Lock Ask the Hacks giveaway for a free 1-year subscription to the iPhone app. We got some really exciting stuff. What's that?
I was going to say, we apologize if you have an Android.
We apologize. Well, no, we make no apologies. But
No, we don't.
I do. I feel bad for everybody.
yeah, John and Bruce do, but Tyler and I are on iPhone, so yeah, we're no apologies made.
Look at you, Mike.
Yeah, I think Mike he's looking at it because there's been lots of questions about Android, right? So I think he's considering it, but he can answer that question, I guess, when he comes on next time. That's it for this week, guys. So check out the website, fantasyhockeyhacks.com. We've got all the show notes there, all the waiver wire picks, all the updates, the tweets, the stats that we may have missed. That's it. So, boys, thanks for joining me for another one. We will talk next week.
Bye, Felicia.
Oh, God. Goodbye.
Good night. Good night.
Take care.